Hello and assalamu alaikum everyone. I am Kashif Kamran. A very warm welcome to the SBL Webinar to Success for September 2025 exam. This is the free version of the webinar I do for my YouTube channel for each exam sitting. Now, the webinar is being held today on the 10th of August 2025, when technically the SBL September 2025 exams are just 21 days away. So you have 3 weeks before your exams. Now, ideally, this is a time when the students are moving towards the revision phase of their preparation or entering into the practice phase of their preparation. Because I think this is an ideal time which should be spent on the past papers, practice of the past papers, doing the mock exams, and revising the key areas, revising the key models, revising the key theories, or any weaker areas which you must have identified on your part. So let's see what is in store for this webinar, what sort of guidance I need to give to you, particularly for the 21 days you are left with. Now, the agenda of this webinar is divided into 5 parts. Number one is to look into the essential resources to success, which you will be needing for the 21 days. Number two is to look at the issues hindering success. Number three is to look into the strategy to success on the day of exam. Number four, managing time to success. And finally, some key tips to success. Let's open up the agenda one by one. Now, just before I focus myself on the essential resources to success, I would just like to make an announcement that I will be doing an exclusive session on the professional skill marks in SBL, because I think that is a worrying area for most of the students. And I would like to address the professional skill marks in a very different manner this time. So just stay tuned for that session coming your way on the YouTube channel in the next 2 to 3 days from now. Now, just let's open up the agenda one is to look at the resources, the essential resources to success. Now, with 21 days remaining, this is an ideal snapshot of the resources. Number one, the past papers on ACCA practice platform. 9 essential past papers, and I'll be showing you what 9 means. The mock exam, which is already published on the 8th of August, and that is available on the ACCA practice platform. So 9 essential past papers, which I will be showing you shortly, and the mock exam, that is 10. So that means 10 past papers over the next 21 days, and you are preparing yourself in the best possible manner for the upcoming SBL September 2025 exam. 10 past papers, and I will be telling you the way you should be doing them. And if you do it in the same way, you will feel the difference and you will feel yourself more motivated for the upcoming exam. Technical articles, I do emphasize on them a lot. I do believe some of the technical articles are extremely important, and I will be emphasizing on the list of those shortly. Examiner reports is an essential resource, but honestly, students don't put a focus on it. I will only request one examiner report to be read over the next 21 days, which is not something very burdening. And I hope each one of you can read one examiner report, but what is the purpose of reading it and how you should be reading it is very, very important. And I will be emphasizing on that shortly again. Working on your weak areas, that's another important thing. I will be emphasizing on that shortly, that each one of you will have a unique set of weak areas. You know best what are your weak areas in SBL, where you believe you are underconfident, and you have to give a lot of time to those areas over the next 21 days. And finally, the pre-seen case for your September exam will be released by ACCA 14 days prior to your exam setting. So we need to be watchful of that. Once that pre-scene is available, I will be updating you. And you know that I also do a pre-scene debrief which is 8 days before the actual exam for all of you. So these are sort of things you need to keep in mind. Just let's explore each one of them individually, starting first with the past papers, because this is an ideal time when you should be spending more time each day on past papers. Now, this is the 10 papers we were talking about. 5 past papers from September 23 exams, which is on the ACCA practice platform. So you will do the September 23 paper, you will do the December 23 paper, you will do the March June 24 paper, September December 24 paper, and you will do the March June 25 paper. These are 5 recent papers since September 23, because there were some structural changes in SBL exam paper from September 23. The pre-scene came in, the number of tasks went down, the time management of the paper reduced from 4 hours to 195 minutes. So all sort of those changes came from September 23. So ACCA has put 5 past papers on their practice platform, which is from September 23 onwards, and each one of them has a pre-scene. Then there are 2 practice exams, practice exam 1 and practice exam 2, which are available on the ACCA practice platform, which is in the new format since September 23. So that will be a total of 7. Then there are 2 specimen exams, which are valid from September 23 exams, 1 and 2. So that makes the list to 9. And then 1 mock exam, which is now available since 8th of August, 10 papers. Each one of them has a pre-scene. So that means you will have a habit of reading the pre-scene. You will develop a habit of what a pre-scene can do in your real exam. Number 1, how you read a pre-scene. Number 2, how you take notes of pre-scene. Number 3, how you absorb pre-scene before you do your paper. This is exactly what you're doing for your real September 25 exam. So I would prefer that whichever past paper you are doing, for example, you are doing the December 24 past paper. So today on the 10th of August, you read the pre-scene for the December 24 paper, make notes of the pre-scene, absorb the pre-scene, and make yourself familiar with the pre-scene information, with the company and the industry. Tomorrow, on the 11th of August, you do the December 24 paper. So if you're planning to do a paper, keep 1 day for reading the pre-scene, making the notes, making the summaries, and the next day, then you can attempt the paper. So you have a familiarity with the pre-scene. So when you are reading a task and you're reading the exhibits given to you on the day of exam, or in the December 24 exam, for example, you can recall some information from the pre-scene as well. And that can really help you blend up a nice answer. So a lot of time I've seen students, they're doing the past papers without the pre-scene, which is very bad. You have to read the pre-scene a day before you're planning to do the past paper. So tomorrow, if you're planning to do the December 24 paper, today you will do the pre-scene, you will develop your notes, you will absorb the pre-scene. Tomorrow you will do the December 24 paper, and you will feel the difference. When you're reading the exhibit, you can also recall some information from the pre-scene, and that together will blend up into a very nice answer. So I hope you will follow this guidance, that it is essential that you develop a habit of reading the pre-scene, familiarizing yourself with pre-scene, as you will be doing for your real September 25 exams, and you will be doing with your real pre-scene coming 14 days before your actual exam paper. So please ensure you're spending time on a pre-scene, and the next day you do the exam paper. That's how you will be going over the next 21 days, wrapping up these 10 past papers. Now, practice is key to success, right? You cannot put this time on other areas. This is the time which is to be put on practice, because that is where you understand the exam rigor. You understand how to read, how to write. You understand the mistakes you are doing, and you can overcome them over the next 21 days. Please ensure, if you are working under a tutor, you are under the guidance of a tutor, get a feedback on what you're writing, get a feedback on your answers, at least 50% of your answers, so that you know that what you're doing is good and you're going fine. That is very, very important. So get your answers checked by a tutor, which is very essential for success. It's not just you're writing the answer. Someone needs to see your answer. Someone needs to evaluate your answer, whether you're writing them rightly or wrongly. So 10 essential papers. That's number one. Number two, some technical articles. Even though by this point in time, you have developed your knowledge, you have gone over the knowledge, whether you were enrolled in a course, you were doing a self study, or you explored the ACCA study hub, whatever. Now, by this point in time, you have knowledge. This is the point you need to revise. This is the point you need to focus on to your weak areas. But you need to understand the importance of technical articles. You need to understand that these technical articles are written by the examining team, and each technical article contains an exam focus. Each technical article tells you how this article will be examined or how this topic will be examined. And they even give you examples. Now, that is the most important part of the technical article if you can capture that. So, when you're reading the technical article, look for the exam focus. Look for what your examining team is telling you that how this could be examined. Look at the examples because that can really open up your mindset ahead of your real exams. Now, I have chosen some technical articles from the website, which I would like to share with you, which I would believe you should read it. If you have already read it, fine. If you have not read it, please take a time out and read through this article. I think each article will not take 30 to 40 minutes because you just need to read it very quickly and take your notes, not spending more than 40 minutes on an article. Syllabus Area A, responsible leadership and culture and configuration. Culture is such an important topic, and examining team is very fond of asking questions around culture. So better sure that you're very good on the side of culture. And also leadership is an important area from SBL mindset. Knowing the responsible leadership, particularly the leadership which gets into the normative style. That is where the article has been written. A responsible leadership who is concerned about CSR, concerned about society, concerned about environment, and incorporating society and environment into their decision making. Syllabus Area B, which is about governance, diversifying the board, and integrated reporting. These are two articles. You know how important diversifying the board is, knowing the attributes of diversity and the six capitals of integrated reporting, the benefits of integrated reporting had been popular topics with your examining team. Syllabus Area C, growing in partnership, that is a wonderful article. That growing in partnership article gives you examples of strategic alliance, joint venture, franchise, and license. You must have seen past papers where joint venture has already been examined. Strategic planning, part one and part two, is such a wonderful article because it gives you about the six M's. It gives you about the Port of Five Forces, PESTEL, ENSOF, Port of Five Forces, the Porter generic strategy, sorry, and the SAF model. So a lot of models are going into that planning process part one and part two. Such a wonderful article, these two, because it gives you a holistic idea of the strategic planning process. So if you want to revise the strategic planning process as quickly as possible, these two articles are wonderful. Market segmentation, market segmentation, customer segmentation are important topics in SPL. Syllabus Area D, four line of defense and assurance mapping, and number two, COSO enterprise risk management. Risk management is an important area, and almost in every single exam setting, you do find a question around risk. So you should be better well versed with important articles under risk. Syllabus Area E, technology, such an important stay of the paper. Again, just like risk, it's very difficult to find a paper without technological element coming in. Impact of new technology on organizational culture, a comparatively new article, a comparatively the most recent article available. So you cannot just compromise or you cannot take a risk of not reading it. Principles and application of e-marketing. E-marketing is another popular area with examining team. And if you look into the last couple of exam settings, you will find twice, probably once or twice a question on this. Cybersecurity, another favorite area of examiner, challenges or benefits. Applying the big data, again, benefits and challenges. E-commerce. Syllabus area F, no article. I would not recommend any article to be read here. A pretty simple area about internal controls and internal audit. Syllabus area G, assessing organizational performance. You know, your examining team is very fond of asking, assessing the financial and non-financial performance. That's one of the favorite question. So please ensure, even in the March, June 25 paper, which is around HP, historical places, we have a question on assessing financial and non-financial performance in that paper as well. Syllabus area H, project documentation, roles and responsibility. We know project initiation document or project documentation or role of a project manager. These are favorite areas of your examiner. Cryptocurrency, we've never seen much on that, but still, because it's an article, you need to prepare for the worst. So please ensure you go through cryptocurrency and the Beldrich Performance Excellence Model. So these are some articles you should read through. Particularly in every article, read the exam focus, how it can be examined, and please ensure you make quick notes of that. I think the maximum time you should be spending on each article is 35 to 40 minutes, primarily focusing on the model, if any, in the article, and the exam focus. So model, theory, and exam focus. These are three good things you can focus on in the article. So that's number 3. Examiner reports. It is very, very important for all of you that over the next 3 weeks, download the March, June 25 SBL Examiner report. And I'll be doing a session on that pretty soon for my YouTube channel. And I will be updating you all for that. I will be going through the March, June 25 Examiner report, but I want you to do it yourself. Download it and read it. Keep a red pen, keep a green pen with you. Wherever the examining team criticize you that this is done wrongly, or they criticize you that this was not good, underline the criticism in red and take notes of that. And wherever the examining team is giving you an advice or appreciating something, underline that in green and take notes of that. So by the end of the reading, you will have a summary of the criticism. You will have a summary of the appreciations and advices. And you read them, you absorb them, and then you do the past papers. Then you do the mock exam. You will feel a remarkable change in the way you write the SBL answer, particularly those of you who are repeating the SBL paper, who have flunked in the June exam at 47, 48, and 49, and even those who are appearing for the first time. You have to read one examiner report with the green and red analysis, with the criticism, appreciation, and a word of advice, and make a summary that this is the examiner word of advice. This is the examiner appreciation. This is what examiner likes. This is what examiner don't like. Make a summary and revise that, recall that, absorb that. And when you're doing the past paper, recall that this is what the examiner like. I will do it. This is what the examiner don't like. I will not do it. It will bring a remarkable improvement, and you can also be a place winner in the upcoming September 25 exam. But the problem is the student are least bothered about reading an examiner report. I'm only asking for one in 21 days. I'm not saying 5, 6, 7, even though the more you read, the better. But at least I'm asking for read one of them before you do your mock exam. You will see a remarkable improvement in your mock answers. Is that clear to all of you? Will all of you be following and sticking to the examiner report and its importance in your study approach for the next 21 days? Okay. Next, working on your weak areas. All of you must be knowing your weak areas 21 days before exam. Sit down and ask a question to yourself. What are your weak areas? Where are you struggling? Uh, what are the weaker theories, models? Which syllabus area is like irritating you? You're not very strong in that syllabus area. Focus on that. Focus on your weak areas. Focus on your weaknesses and try to overcome them over the next 21 days. So please ensure you know your weak areas, you know your weaknesses, and you know which areas you are struggling with so that you can overcome them over the next 21 days. Pre-seen case for your exams, for September exams, will be released by ACCA 14 days before your actual exam date. I think your exams is on 2nd of September. So 14 days prior to that, the ACCA will release the pre-seen. And then I will be telling you that you should read the pre-seen because I do my debrief 8 days before the exam. So I normally give students 6 to 7 days to read, make notes, absorb it, do a brainstorming among the student community, and then be ready for the tutor debrief where I guide you about the tips, techniques. I guide you about what can come, what are likely questions, articles, things to focus on, and all such things 8 days before your exam. And that will make you ready set with your pre-seen for the September 25 exams. So this is the agenda one. This is the essential resources you need to focus on. 10 past papers, a couple of articles, examiner reports, and you're all ready set. And focus on your weak areas and be ready for the pre-seen. Number two, issues hindering success in SBL. What are issues hindering success in SBL? Why students struggle despite we have such a good passing rate for SBL, which is over 50%? Number one, missing case linkage. I have been very vocal on this, and I've been emphasizing on this in every webinar I do. Case linkage, synchronization with case. If your answer has no case linkage, or your answer has a weak case linkage, or your answer is not synchronized to the case, that's a bad answer. When you're writing the answer in the exam, you have a pre-seen at the back of your mind. You have a familiarity with the pre-seen at the back of the mind. You know something from the pre-seen. You know some figures from the pre-seen. You know some facts from the pre-seen, which is here. And you're reading the exhibit on the day of exam, and you're trying to identify some points from the exhibit. But when you are writing the exhibits, when you're writing the points from the exhibits into your answer, you can spontaneously recall the pre-seen. You can spontaneously recall something from the pre-seen which can add value to your answer. Number one, pre-seen is not forcefully applied. You cannot have a forceful application of the pre-seen. You can only apply pre-seen where needed intelligently because you have it here. You know it. So wherever you think I can link something, I can blend something, do it. So the exhibits on the day of exam is giving you the answer. But along with those exhibits, if you can recall spontaneously something from the pre-seen and you can link that up, for example, we know mostly in the pre-seen, we have been given the financial numbers. We have been given the financial performance of the company. It might not be given to you on the day of exam in the exhibits. But you recall that I read in the pre-seen that the company profit was going down, or I read in the pre-seen that the customer satisfaction scoring is going down. So you can link that somewhere when you're writing something about customers or when you're like writing something about the company's performance. So the more you involve in the information, the more you involve in the uh, exhibits, and the more you find the points from exhibits, and alongside you can do some natural blending from the pre-seen wherever possible. I'm not saying a forceful application again. You're producing a very good answer. Number two, missing the depth of explanation. Sometimes the students are not writing much. I have seen students writing just one sentences and two sentences, merely explaining a point. That's not an explanation. When you're explaining a point, ideally, it should be 3 to 4 sentences long. That is one proper explanation. 3 to 4 sentences long is when you properly explain your perspective, when you properly explain a point. So one point is like 3 to 4 sentences long because that's where you elaborate it. That's where you elaborate to impress your marker. So a sentence is where you put a full stop. So 3 to 4 sentences, that's a well-developed point for 2 marks. Lack of journal professionalism. Students are unaware that even journal professionalism is part of your professional skill marks, headings and subheadings, not writing long paragraphs, giving a para break. Sometimes the student writes a page without giving a break. Sometimes the student writes 10 lines without giving a break. Para breaks, headings, subheadings. You are giving a computer-based exam, so you can bold something, you can underline something, you can italic something, because that enhances the presentation. If you're giving the heading, you can put a bold heading, you can underline the heading. Giving the answer in the right format. So, and not repeating a point in the same answer. These are journal professionalism, which fetch you professional marks, headings, subheadings, uh, using the bold, italic, underline to enhance the presentation of your answer. Short paragraphs, not lengthy paragraphs. Not repeating a point in the same answer, and putting the answer in the right format. This all add to your professional skill marks. Number 4, not linking the pre-seen facts where needed in the answer. I just mentioned that in the point number 1, so I'm not repeating that. So linking the pre-seen where possible, not forceful application. I already emphasized a lot on that in the point number 1. Point number 5, forcefully thinking of a model when model isn't the best answer. Not necessarily that model is being applied in every single task of SBL. Even if you do an answer without a model, you're fine. Don't be worried about it because model isn't the best answer. So if you come out of the exam hall and you were talking to your friend and your friend told that I applied the Porter diamond and you said no, I didn't apply the Porter diamond, I just naturally answered the question. We're fine. Nothing to worry about because model isn't the best answer. So don't just forcefully think about a model. Don't just waste time thinking about the model. You can do an answer without a model. Just involve yourself into the exhibit, information in the exhibit, and try to meet the expectation of the requirement. So a lot of time, student waste time choosing and selecting a model, and at times they wrongly choose a model. So in that case, it's better you could have done the answer without a model. So these are issues hindering success. I hope you will take careful notes of them and follow them. Exam strategy for the day of exam. The day of exam is important. You're all preparing for it and you don't want it to be wasted. You're giving your full dedication, your full support. You're giving your efforts for preparing for the big day, and you want to do the best on the big day, right? You want to give your 200% on the big day, and the very first thing you have to do is to keep yourself calm and composed. There might be things in exam paper which you don't know. There might be a task for 8 marks and 10 marks which you don't understand. But why are you spoiling the rest of your paper for that 8 to 10 marks requirement? Why are you increasing your stress level? Why are you not looking that the glass is half full, not half empty? You know the 90% of the paper, or you know the 85% of the paper. You don't know 15% of the paper, leave it. Don't be bothered about it. Why are you creating a stress for a 15% paper dominating the 85% of the paper? I'm talking about a worst case scenario. Because the student, if they don't know anything, they keep glaring at it. They keep thinking at it. Don't waste your time, please. If you don't know anything, just flag it. Come back to it later. You know, every mark in SBL is 1.95 minutes per mark. You have 195 minutes, you have 100 marks. So every mark is 1.95. So if there is a 10 marks requirement and you don't know it, ideally keep aside 20 minutes. And in the end of the exam, come back to it. Rather than glaring at it, increasing your stress level, doing nothing, you're wasting your time. The moment you know I don't know it, look at the number of marks, multiply by 1.95, and keep that time at the end of the exam and come back, do whatever you can do. You cannot leave anything blank. There is no negative marking in SPL, right? So rather than leaving something blank, at least try to do the best you can. At least try to find something from the exhibit, try to write something about it. You might get 2 out of 10, 1 out of 10, 3 out of 10. That is better. That could be a difference between passing and failing. So you need the wise strategy on the day of exam because you're preparing for it. Sometimes you're so well prepared, but you fail on the day of exam. Sometimes you're so well prepared and you panic out on the day of exam. Useless. You're preparing for the exam. At least keep yourself calm and composed. Focus on the opportunities, attack what you know in the paper, and flag what you don't know. And come to the flag part later. Do it later, the best you can. So just let's go through it. I've just discussed them randomly. Number one, reading and point extraction is the key. You know, reading and planning is the most important thing in the SBL paper. I'll be talking about that in the time management coming soon. Understanding the requirement. What is the examiner asking you? What is the expectation of the requirement? How many times a student failed to understand what the examiner is asking? Understand what the examiner is asking. Try to read the requirement very carefully because the moment you know what the examining team is asking for, then you can read the exhibit carefully. Then you can find the points from the exhibit carefully. And then you can recall something from the pre-scene very spontaneously. And all that can blend up to a very good answer. So a lot of time, the student, when they're reading the task, they might read it wrongly. When you're reading the task, you should read it carefully. Now, when you're reading the exhibit, you can find very good points from the exhibit. You can copy paste those points into your word processor in the reading and planning time, and your word processor will be ready set for you to make a good answer. A lot of time, the students are unaware of what to do in the reading and planning time. They have not developed an approach to copy paste. They have not developed an approach to should I read the requirement first and then the exhibits? Students are so puzzled. You are doing 10 papers at home, develop a strategy for your exam. You're doing 10 papers at home, you should know that I have to read the requirement first, understand it first, then read the exhibit, copy the points from exhibit, dump them into the word processor, and then I'm ready set to write my answer. If you do this practice over the 10 papers, your actual exam paper, when you're sitting in the actual exam environment, things will be easier for you. But if you have not developed a strategy of how to read, how to plan, how to copy paste, how to write, what will you do on the day of the real exam? You're calling yourself into trouble. So sometime we are just preparing books, theories, models, but we're not preparing ourselves for the wise exam strategies, which to me is very important. We are ignoring the wise exam strategies. We are unaware of what we need to do on the day of exam. We are unaware that if something comes in the exam which I don't know, what should I do? So this all is important, right? Because you're preparing yourself for the big day. You need a lot of optimism. You need a lot of wise decision making. You need a lot of clever thinking in the 195 minutes on the day of exam. You need to look at the best picture. You need to look at what you know. You don't need to look at what you don't know because you can do that at the end of the exam paper. So I hope these 1, 2, 3, 4 on your screen is important, is clear. You can focus on them and you will not spoil your big day coming up. Is everyone clear with that? I just need a quick feedback from all of you. Are you all clear for the exam strategy for the day of exam? 1, 2, 3, 4. Will you take wise decisions on the day of exam? Will you be clever? Will you have intelligent thinking? Because it's not just about the book readings and the models and the theories and the technical articles and joining a tutor course. It's more important what you do in 195 minutes in the real exam. Do you all agree with me? I'm waiting for your answers in the chat box. Is this something important? Because most of the time, a student is so well prepared and he crashes on the day of exam. I've seen so many students who report to me that we were so well prepared and we crashed on the day of exam. What's uh, what return are you getting for your benefits? Sorry, for your preparation. So I hope you stick to it. You will all follow it and you will do your papers wisely. Time management in the SBL paper. Definitely, time management in any paper is key to success. Even though I don't find much of the time management issues being reported by the students, still want to discuss the time management since the September 23 exams when we have 195 minutes. So let's do some simple mathematics. You have three tasks in the paper and you have 195 minutes and you have 100 marks. So ideally, that means you have 1.95 minutes per mark. Now, look at the task total marks, technical and professional. The moment you look at the task, the marks are given in the bracket. Even before you open the task one, 40 marks, for example. So you know the marks that are allocated to the task. I'm talking about the total marks, right? Because I'm taking 195 divided by 100. I'm not doing a split between technical and professional marks. So you know the total time you can give to a task. So look at the number of marks you have for a task, multiply that by 1.95 and find the total time. Of that total time, 1/4 is to read and plan, 3/4 is to write. For example, there is a task for 40 marks. You will multiply 40 with 1.95, you get 78 minutes. Of this 78 minutes, 1/4, that is 19 minutes, will be spent on reading and planning, understanding the requirement, reading the exhibit, copy pasting the information from the exhibit, and preparing for the answer. And in 59 minutes, which is 3/4 time, you will be writing a wonderful answer. So this is the time management you have to stick to when you're doing the 10 papers at home. 1.95 minutes per mark. Find the total time, divide the total time between reading and planning and writing, and then go down doing it again and again over the 10 past papers you're doing, and you will be excellent with this time management. The most critical element is the reading and planning time. The 19 minutes you were spending off the 78 minutes, for example, if the task one was for 40 marks, that 19 minutes will play a crucial part in your success because in that you're reading, you're understanding, you are identifying the points from the exhibit and you're copy pasting them into the word processor. To me, this is the most important foundation. And if you lay the foundation well, you're writing a good answer for sure. But if your foundation is weak, your reading is weak, your planning is weak, whatever you do, you're not writing a good answer at all. So please ensure you stick to my words carefully. Key tips to success, finally. For the key tips to success, you have to wait. You have to wait till the time I do the pre-scene debrief. Because when I do my pre-scene debrief for September exams, once the pre-scene is out, I know the industry, I know the organization, I can pick up the models, I can pick up the theories, I can tell you which articles are important, I can tell you which exam papers are important. So I give a lot of advices and tips when I do my pre-scene debrief. If you have watched any of my previous pre-scene debriefs, this uh, I do the same. So I will be covering the pre-scene debrief 8 days before the exam. So just stay tuned for that. I will be telling you about the key tips for your September 25 exams in the light of the pre-scene debrief because it's too early to tell you the key tips. I do the pre-scene debrief 8 days before the exam, and any student who is enrolled with me in my September 25 batch, you will have an opportunity of taking it as a live session. And any other student who is not enrolled with me, you have to wait for 24 hours before it comes on the YouTube channel. So 8 days before I do it live for my students, and like 7 days before it comes to my YouTube channel. So all of the students appearing for SBL exam can benefit from it. So I wish you all the very best of luck. The purpose of this webinar was just to give you a guidance, a hope, a motivation that you still have 21 days. And if you stick to my words, you follow my guidance, you will be successful. Stay tuned for my professional skill marks session coming your way on the YouTube. That will be an eye opener that will tell you how easily we can score the 20 professional marks and boost our prospects of taking a nationwide position by scoring something like 75 to 80 marks in SBL. So just be watchful of that. Just in the last June 25 exams, my student from Barbados, she scored 91 marks in SBL and she claimed the third position in the world by virtue of 91 marks. So that means even some student in the world had 94, 95 probably. So you need to aim for high marks and you can do it because if you stick to the basics, you follow my advices, you will write a very good answer. For my regular students who are part of my September 25 classes, stay tuned for my debrief on September December 24 paper and March June 25 paper. I will be releasing that by the 15th of August and a couple of free sessions coming on the YouTube like the professional skill marks. I hope the session today was beneficial. You enjoyed the session. I hope those of you who were in the live session, uh, it was worth coming in. If you can just give me a quick feedback, all of you. Was it a session which was good? The time you spent in the session, has it given you something, all of you? If you can give me your quick feedbacks. Have you got some clear guidance for the next 21 days, all of you? I'm waiting for your replies in the chat box quickly. Have you got a clear track for 21 days? Have you got some ray of hopes? Have you got some motivations, some desperations? Are you feeling better off today that we can do it? We all can do it, right? Okay. I wish you all the very best of luck, and I hope you follow my guidance. I will be releasing this presentation and the recording shortly on the WhatsApp group and over my social media pages and even on the YouTube, so you can catch on if you have missed the live session. Wish you all the very best of luck and stay tuned for more commitments, which I've done with all of you coming your way over the next 5 to 6 working days. Thank you. Take care, study effectively. Goodbye and Allah Hafiz.